Hello and welcome you to this mode. This is ECW. We are removed from WrestleMania 2 of this year, which was of course Living Dangerously. What a night it was. I know, we put on an absolute spectacular show, as we always do. But we have no time to rest, we have no time to sit around on our asses because Money in the Bank is a week and a half away and we have to put something together for that. And it seems as if there is a man, of course there's always a man, who has something prepared for ECW going forward. That man is ECW champion Seth Rollins, and as you see right there, he's going to be kicking things off for us here tonight by talking about his victory over Kenny Omega. And Rollins has told me, and he's kept this one silent for me, that he's going to name the man who he wants to face him for the ECW Championship at Money in the Bank. Yes, remember all the times you boo Seth Rollins and you say that he's a champ who hides behind his title. Rollins is once again choosing his opponent at a pay-per-view. And that pay-per-view, of course, being Money in the Bank, the first cross-promotional pay-per-view since WrestleMania. But though Rollins, of course, is going to find out his ECW, is going to reveal to us the man who he wants to face for the ECW title at Money in the Bank. That is not all to do with Money in the Bank here tonight. We're going to have the main event tonight is going to be a fatal four-way match whereby the winner takes that final Money in the Bank spot that is awaiting them. There is one spot left. It is our spot. And it comes down to those four men that you see right there. Sami, Zayn, Roderick, Samoa Joe, and Neville. Three of those four men in the match were in the Battle Royal at Living Dangerously, and those three men all picked up eliminations as well. Roderick Strong was the runner-up in that Battle Royal. Neville, of course, is the wild card in it. He beat Chris Jericho. He took out Chris Jericho. Roderick Strong may have a few things to say about that due to the allegiance of the Four Horsemen. We'll see how that goes later on tonight in our main event. It's a pretty chill night here on ECW, I'll be honest. But before we can get to any of it, let's start off with the champion. And here he is. The champion is in town for ECW. The man, not of the hour, not even of the day, of the year, of the century, of the millennia, whatever you want to call him. I know he certainly is the greatest of all time, regardless of whatever you think of him. It's Seth Rollins. Spoilers, he beat Kenny Omega at Living Dangerously and retained his ECW Championship, just like he's letting you know there. Rollins saying that there's no doubt in lying about it, it was a tough match. Kenny Omega was tough, but Kenny Omega was just like everyone else. Not good enough for Seth Rollins. And since there's no Money in the Bank opportunity for Omega, it seems as if he's going to be waiting some time to get his hands on Seth Rollins again, which Rollins finds quite humorous. But the man that he is putting out here tonight, the man who he is putting out the challenge towards, is going to get his hands on him at Money in the Bank, and he thinks that people are going to like the choice. Oh, wowie indeed. Seth Rollins wants to face Kyle O'Reilly at Money in the Bank, and if O'Reilly wants to accept it, he will come out to this ring right now and face the champion. And sure enough, he did. Kyle O'Reilly is here to accept the challenge that Seth Rollins has put out. How about that? O'Reilly, who was victorious over Aleister Black at Living Dangerously in the match just before Rollins' retention of the ECW Championship, heads towards the ring as the new #1 contender. Rollins put the challenge out there, and O'Reilly looks ready to accept it. A stare down between the two, and Kyle O'Reilly is not going to waste any time. If that's what Rollins wants, if it's what ECW wants, O'Reilly accepts. Money in the Bank is on between the two for the ECW Championship. And Seth Rollins could not be happier. In his eyes, there was no one who could who put up a believable challenge like O'Reilly, who could give Rollins the fight that he wants, quite like Kyle O'Reilly. They've both got the night off here tonight to recover for Money in the Bank, and in Rollins' eyes, O'Reilly is going to need it and more. But Kyle O'Reilly is not interested in a war of words with Seth Rollins. He's come out here, he's accepted the challenge. That's all that matters to Kyle O'Reilly. If there is anything else that he wants to do, if there's anything else that O'Reilly's going to do to Seth Rollins, he is going to let his actions speak for him. He is going to let what he does in the ring speak for him. And that's going to happen at Money in the Bank. But Rollins says the loudest voice, the loudest action, the loudest words that can be spoken are those of a victory, are those of a theme being played. And at Money in the Bank, when Seth Rollins' theme is played at the end of it all, remember, he was the better man. And Rollins says, O'Reilly, rest up as much as you need to. Get ready as much as you need to. Rollins will do the same. At Money in the Bank, they will tear the house down. They will burn it down. But Rollins will be the one, as always, to redesign, rebuild, reclaim to that ECW championship. And there you have it. A stare down between the two men. Money in the Bank is on between them. Kyle O'Reilly and Seth Rollins is on indeed. This one is going to be spectacular, make no mistake about it. What a match we are in for on that date. I already know ECW is excited for it, but is O'Reilly ready for it? Wowie indeed. Could you ask for anything more? I think not. Have the calls for another great match here on ECW for that title been answered? Yes, and then some. You're welcome for that one. Anyway, we're going to kick things off here on ECW with a cruiserweight matchup. As a matter of fact, I think we've got... No, it might just be this one. Scrap what I was going to say there. But, of course, if you haven't seen Living Dangerously, I've already spoiled the main event for you, so I'll give you another 2 seconds if you haven't. 2, 1, okay. We have a new Cruiserweight champion in Zack Sabre Jr. He defeated Austin Aries, won the Cruiserweight championship, and yeah, now the British Empire have a hold over that division. And of course, what is important to sort out regarding all of that, I guess, what is something that needs to be done to make sure that the Cruiserweight division can stay alive and keep a fight going to the champion, is to make sure there's always the talent in that division to keep on going, and that's exactly what we're going to get here tonight. TJP is going to go one-on-one against Trevor Lee, a man who we haven't actually seen in quite a while, which is interesting in its own way, but he's on his way out. As a matter of fact, there he is. There is Trevor Lee getting ready for his matchup here tonight on ECW. Like I said, first time in a while since we've seen this guy. But with everything that was going on in the Cruiserweight division, there really wasn't a lot of room for the Cruiserweights. I mean, hell, we had Cedric Alexander from NXT in the fall in the supplemental draft, and we've seen him twice because it's just been that difficult to get him on this show. This show is stacked with talent. And that's why we've gone with a relaxing night in some ways, just to show that we have talent, we want to showcase it, and that's basically all we want. We just want to showcase it. We want to show the people that, hell yeah, we've got a good roster here, and we're going to make the most of it, while, of course, we have it. And that's what we're doing here tonight. Trevor Lee and TJP one-on-one to kick things off. Maybe could have gone with someone else over TJP, as he's suffered quite a few defeats in the last few weeks. Maybe Cedric Alexander, Jack Gallagher. There's always a few names you can go with, but these things happen. It's not going to be the only time we see a Cruiserweight in action, though, tonight, so don't worry. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to see a Cruiserweight in action 1, 2, 3, 4 times technically. 4 out of 5 matches are going to include a Cruiserweight. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, let us kick things off here with this one. TJP and Trevor Lee to start things off on this night of action. Some pretty interesting developments I think will happen on this episode of ECW. We've got our Money in the Bank qualifier match to close out the night. We've got MKULTRA in action as well after what they did at Living Dangerously, which I'll talk more about as well. We got Mr. Money in the Bank. No, maybe, well, not yet anyway. Maybe. We've got the one representative we know of for ECW at Money in the Bank, that of course being Kurt Angle in action. And than the next match, which I will get into when that matchup comes around. Anyway, TJP right now firing off some quick kicks, but that's not going to happen. Trevor Lee does a good job to put a stop to that one. Northern Lights suplex there, and TJP hits hard into the mat and then gets kicked hard in the back. Trevor Lee really going out of here. The young man, still about 24 years of age. When you think about it, that is incredibly young in the wrestling business. So Trevor Lee still with a lot of time to gain experience. TJP quite a bit older, got more experience under his belt, but he'll need to use all of it here to beat Trevor Lee. Nice powerbomb there though by TJP, and an early kick out though by Trevor Lee meant that he couldn't close things out the way he wanted it to. Running uppercut in the corner, and TJP will spring himself up to that top rope right now. Moonsault by TJP, and he goes into the cover. Will this close things out here? No, Trevor Lee kicking out again. But Trevor Lee needs to get something going. He can kick out as much as he wants, but it's not going to get him anywhere. Look at this body lock applied here now of sorts. Trapping that arm in. Got his left leg trapped around the body of Trevor Lee, but Lee just going to use his power there. Lee has to slim down an awful lot to get into that 205 range. You can see by the size of his body, one of the bulkier cruiserweights on the roster. Oh, was that a Spanish fly there by Trevor Lee? I believe it was. He goes into the cover on TJP to close things out, and TJP just about kicks out in time. Wowee indeed. That came out of nowhere, and so too will this from Trevor Lee. He brings him in for the small package driver to TJP. He covers him. There's 2 and 3. Trevor Lee picks up the win with a fairly strong comeback in the closing few moments there. I think that was a Spanish fly that led into the small package driver, and Trevor Lee celebrating his victory there. It was closely fought between the two. It was a fast match as well, all things considered, but at the end of it all, respect shown. TJP had his fair share of offense there, but as we keep on trying to find the right contender for Zack Sabre Jr., it's obviously not going to be something that's going to take us 1 week, but hey, that's something that they could take. That's something they could take with them. Nice victory there for Trevor Lee. TJP did pretty well. Signs are being shown. Maybe it's like the women's division on Raw. Maybe we need a little bit of a rebuilding period, which may mean a long reign for that man called Zack Sabre Jr. It was a great night for the British Empire last night, of course, taking that Cruiserweight Championship, but it wasn't a good night at all for the Four Horsemen. Their leader, Chris Jericho, not here tonight, out on the injury list after what Neville did to him. Tonight, the Four Horsemen look to get themselves back, look to show that they are strong, united, and they're doing it for Chris Jericho. Coming up next, Apollo Crews will go one-on-one with the Brian Kendrick. So yeah, I guess we should get into it because it was a very serious talking point that just genuinely we didn't get enough time to talk about on Living Dangerously. If you didn't see it, Neville and Chris Jericho were taking each other on in the Force Count Anywhere match. The match went absolutely everywhere. It went on the stage, it went down the side of the stage, it went backstage, it went into the locker room, came back out in the entrance ramp, it went in the ring. I think they were in the ring for like a minute and a half at best, and the match was like 11-12 minutes of just pure brawling. But the match ended after Neville took it upon himself to physically prove that he was the stronger leader on ECW, and he went about that way by putting Chris Jericho's head next to a ring pole and booting that head into the ring pole. Now, I've seen people do it before. It's always a tough move to watch, no matter who does it and no matter who it's hit on. Even if it's hit on Jinder Mahal, you know, I'd feel like that was a step too far. I've seen the likes of Kazuchika Okada be hit with it. I've seen Seth Rollins be hit with it. It's a brutal move to hit, and it can put someone out for an indefinite period of time. It can give you a concussion, no doubt about it. But after everything Jericho had sustained in that match, I think it was worse than a concussion. I'm not too sure what the injuries details are yet. The Four Horsemen are not going to reveal it. If I'm able to find the time, I will make sure to go and visit Jericho, make sure that he's okay, see how long he's out for. But the Four Horsemen was really divided after that, and kind of as a result of it, for now it's temporarily a Three Horsemen, and Roderick Strong has become de facto leader as a result of that, the fill-in leader. And Apollo Crews has promised here tonight to fight on behalf of Chris Jericho. He devotes this match towards Jericho, hopes that he's back soon, and promises him that if he gets a chance to get his hands on Neville, he is going to make sure that Neville will be in the hospital bed next to Chris Jericho for what he did. And that's Apollo Crews, a guy who we usually associate with being a very sportsmanlike and very by-the-book kind of talent, threatening to do the same to Neville as to what he did to Chris Jericho. But we'll see how that one goes when the time comes around. But look at how Apollo Crews is going from the early stages here. The 245-pounder is in no mood to mess around with the Brian Kendrick. Kendrick certainly wrong place, wrong time. Because Apollo Crews has a lot of a personal vendetta to act out here tonight. This is something that has been eating away at Crews ever since he saw it on Sunday, and now he gets his first chance to act on it, and things are not looking good for the Brian Kendrick here. Oh my god, he's being brutalized. Apollo Crews standing shooting star press there already to the Brian Kendrick. This match hasn't even been going like 45 seconds yet, and Apollo Crews is just launching himself around here. Uh-oh, what is he thinking? He's just got him up on his shoulders like it's no big deal and hits that power bomb. Apollo Crews certainly showing a different edge to him. That happy-go-lucky by-the-books guy seems to have faded away as of what happened on Sunday. Neville may have made a mistake in that regard. And let's see just what kind of anger he is possessing in this one. The Brian Kendrick finally trying to fight back here. Has Apollo Crews in trouble. Elevated DDT there, spiking Crews on his head. Crews, it seems, wants to show the progressions he's made. He's come out here on his own, but he's not afraid by it either. Crews now sends Kendrick into the corner and hits that running splash there. He lifts him up, but oh, the step of Enziguri was countered. Crews, though, catches him. Kendrick, though, able to counter. Back and forth going on by both men. Knee in the back now. Kendrick getting things going here. The wily veteran that is the Brian Kendrick has turned things around a little bit, maybe. Maybe not, it seems, as he is sent on his way there. What's Apollo Crews going to do here now? Looking for some kind of suplex. He has him up in the air. Oh, just... Yep. Take a look at the strength of this man. Pound for pound, he has got it all going for him. There is no doubt about it, and he just showed why that is the case right there. There's that step up in Enziguri. And once again, the Brian Kendrick finds himself in trouble. Apollo Crews has him up. Transitions. Oh, look at that. Gorilla press slam into the moonsault. Absolutely perfection by Apollo Crews, but Diesel chooses to get involved there. Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic. That was absolutely incredible, though, by Apollo Crews. Let's not take anything away from that. The way he transitioned there was outstanding, and the Brian Kendrick is only getting beaten down more as a result of Diesel's actions. What more is Crews going to do here now as he begins his vendetta, it seems, for Chris Jericho, for the Four Horsemen, for himself. Another Death Valley driver connects there. And Crews is lining himself up for something big. What does he have it? Oh, I know what it is. He has him up in that back suplex. And he is going to transitions it around into the sit-out powerbomb. Covers Kendrick. This one's over. Apollo Crews with a destructive victory. Destructive, decisive. That was certainly it for Apollo Crews. He pulled that one out with relative ease over the Brian Kendrick, and that is what happens when you get on the wrong side of this man. That, it seems, is what happens when Crews comes loose at the hinges. And he most certainly has, as we can see from this right here in this matchup here on ECW. We are flying through tonight, it seems. But Apollo Crews' victory there may mean one thing. And it may mean one thing to one certain guy, and that certain guy, of course, is Neville. You're going to want to keep your wits about you, mate. Because Apollo Crews, it seems, is the one who wants revenge more than anyone else. We'll see how that goes later on tonight when Roderick Strong, of course, is going to be in action in the same ring as Neville. That one will be interesting indeed. But we're going to move on to our next contest here. We saw them making one hell of an impact at Living Dangerously, and now here tonight they get to act on it. Coming up next, it is going to be MKULTRA in action. And here we go. Standing in the ring, ready for this one, Gregory, Helms, and Tony Nese. And they might want to get out to that ring as quickly as possible, because you don't know where these three are going to arrive from. It is MKULTRA. My oh my, what an impact they had I was going to say last night, but it definitely wasn't. This past Sunday at Living Dangerously. Tag team match was going on. It looked like the Wyatt family was set to regain their ECW tag team titles, but nope. Taking a page out of the Wyatt family's book. MKULTRA had a graphic of their own, and by the time the lights came back on, they were in the ring and they were storming Bray Wyatt. Braun Strowman, as it was revealed, was taken out during the phase where the lights were out or whatever. He was taken out and was laying at ringside, and we couldn't see him on the cameras. DIY, we have no idea where they went. They could have been sent over the barricade. They could have been under the apron. We have no... Whoa. This was supposed to be a tag team matchup. But Raven is persistent on staying on that apron, and the referee, it doesn't seem, is going to try and do anything to get him off it. And that might be a wise decision, but we saw them tear it. We saw Luke Harper and Alexander Wolf tear apart Bray Wyatt, and then Raven came in with the final blow. The even flow DDT laid out Bray Wyatt, and MKULTRA stood tall at the end of that. DIY still your ECW tag team champions, but now a new tag team, it seems, has arrived on the scene wanting some glory. And now we see MKULTRA, and I think this is the first time MKULTRA have ever gone at it in a 6-man tag team matchup, which makes it that bit more interesting. Well, I say 6-man, it's a 3-on-2 handicap match. Tony Nese tagged in, now the premier athlete instantly tags back out into Gregory Helms. Maybe Tony Nese is feeling the pressure of fighting MKULTRA, but right now Alexander Wolf has taken some offense and has decided to finish taking that offense. Or not. Hurricanrana there by Helms, and they are trying to cause a huge upset here tonight, it seems, over MKULTRA. You gotta remember, this is a weird bunch of guys. They probably enjoy the punishment that they can be taking. They thrive on it. It drives them forward. But they're not gonna let them gain an advantage from it. Oh, what a bicycle kick there by Alexander Wolf as he throws Gregory Helms into the corner, tags in Luke Harper now, and this is where things can get dangerous. Double axe handle there into the back of Gregory Helms. He is all alone right now and not where he wants to be, but he's still trying to fight. Though I'm not too sure how wise of a decision that one's going to turn out to be. Counter there by Harper. Oh boy. Michinoku driver will plant him down into the mat there. And the stomps now to the back of the head. Oh, here goes Harper. He's got something in mind. Up in the back, suplex. Oh, he just dumped him down on his face. And Raven wanted in. The leader of MKULTRA, the mastermind behind the attack, wanted in. And now he starts the beatdown on Gregory Helms. But still, Helms is trying to fight on here. Oh, he just, well, Mr. Superkick walked into MKULTRA's side of the ring and just got clocked there by that shot. And now here goes Raven, it seems, just bringing the beat down to Gregory Helms. Oh no, discus clothesline! Almost took his head off with it. Raven's probably going to look to end this one out here. This one pretty much over before it even started. Even flow DDT. The cover. With 1, 2, and 3. MKULTRA have won it. The only involvement Tony Nese had in that whole match was getting clocked by Luke Harper just then. MKULTRA, your winners, and of course Raven's going to be the one to pick up the pinfall, but as they celebrate themselves here, Raven is forcing his man out to the ring here. Raven's got something that he wants to say. And here we go, Raven's taking the microphone and immediately wants to deliver his message, and he talks about living dangerously. He talks about the Wyatt family, all this talk about the Wyatt family and how dangerous they are. Well, what about me? What about Raven? Well, it was exactly that forced him to act. That forced him to bring MKULTRA into this all. The Wyatt family got put in their place at living dangerously. Raven's actions were not the end of it all. He knows a fight is on his way, and he welcomes it in its stride. Quote the Raven, nevermore. Short, sweet, to the point. Not really what you'd expect from Raven, but he closed out how he wanted it to. He knows he started something with the Wyatt family, as he got it within him to finish it. Well, let's see how that one develops. But before we go any further, talking about anything, it's Lana's time to talk. Which can only mean, of course, one thing.
And now, America, I ask you to stand up and put your hand on your heart and welcome the one and only true American hero. He is my husband, which means he is the only man that can have me. Welcome the Bulgarian brute, Rusev!
Yes, indeed, it's Rusev's time to shine. Rusev is going to be in action against the man who qualified for Money in the Bank in Kurt Angle. Hell yeah, we're in for a good match. Some big horse action. Rusev, a great opportunity awaiting him here. You beat a man who's got an opportunity to become Mr. Money in the Bank. You're in good nick, I imagine, for something happening for you later on. You know, I mean, as the general manager of this show, I would imagine that I would be able to connect a few things, you know, put a few things together, sort a few things out, and then be good to go. But to do that, Rusev's got to win here tonight, and he's got a tough opponent to take on. Let's make no mistake about it. He hasn't got a pushover. Like I said, the man's going to Money in the Bank. Kurt Angle's a tough opponent for Rusev to take on here, but Rusev is a tough man. You look at that stature, you look at that man, and you see tough, you see horse. You see the Bulgarian brute, as his wife Lana called him. But you also see a man who has been through so much on the other side of the ring. You see a man who is an Olympic gold medalist. You see a man who wears his country on his attire. Hey, in some ways, it is a bit of a country, I don't want to say a country war, but a battle between two nations here. I was about to say you could relate it to the World Cup, but you can't, because I'm pretty sure neither country has gone to the World Cup. Certainly this one hasn't, anyway. But, I imagine Bulgaria hasn't either. But, there we have it. Angle and Rusev one-on-one here. Kurt Angle, like I said, qualified for Money in the Bank by winning that Battle Royal at Living Dangerously. Last eliminated Roderick strong. He didn't get a single elimination until right at the very end. And that was the one that mattered the most, because it sent him on his way to Money in the Bank. There we go. We have 5 men, of course, revealed, and I'll talk about them probably in the next matchup. But right now, the one who matters most to ECW is Kurt Angle, because he's the only one we've got on ECW right now. The next one is, and the final one is going to be revealed up next. But as for right now, we are underway here between Kurt Angle and Rusev. Strap ourselves in for a very entertaining matchup here. I've enjoyed tonight's episode of ECW, as I always do, of course. I always enjoy my show. Why wouldn't I? It's just been a very nice, relaxing show. It's weird to think Money in the Bank is so close, but because it's a cross-branded pay-per-view, and the only thing we've got to worry about is the Money in the Bank ladder match, and now, of course, Rollins and O'Reilly, that we can kind of relax a little bit. We don't have to panic, and I'm happy about that. I like not having to panic. I like not having to worry about putting everything together. I mean, we had 6 weeks to put together Living Dangerously. So, it's nice for the ECW brand to just get a bit of time, just watch its stars in action, and that's exactly what we're doing here as Rusev and Kurt Angle trading back and forth here. Angle's certainly going to have the advantage of being in the collar and elbow tie-up with Rusev. I mean, amateur wrestler, a gold medal winning amateur wrestler, so he's certainly got some success there. Rusev, though, probably an amateur wrestler of his own right, I'd imagine, and certainly a strong man at that, as he just sends Kurt Angle face first into the floor there. Takes him down, goes after the arm of the Olympic gold medalist. Nasty kick in the back as well that followed up. Rusev now going to look to go for a few things, I imagine. Not if Kurt Angle has any intentions of it. We've seen some good back and forth by both men, though. Trying to make things as difficult as they can for one another. But of course, they also need to get out as much, they need to get out of the fence, and that's exactly what Kurt Angle's gone for. German suplex early on. Angle got all of that one. And here goes the Olympic gold medalist now, starting to swing away. The wrestling machine that is Kurt Angle. Starting to use his strength. Suplex. Indeed. Rusev goes down again. Clutching his back a little bit there. Good counter though by Rusev, up and over the top rope. Oh! Kurt Angle was lucky there to avoid that when he did. And look at that again. Look at the strength from Kurt Angle to hit that backbreaker. Angle into an early cover now, trying to test to see how much... Not much damage at all is the answer. Rusev popping up right to his feet there. Angle responding with a headbutt and a few more strikes on its way here. Rusev needs to get something going if he wants this victory here. He leant his head in and Rusev was able to take full advantage of it. Oh, what a nasty knee in the face there. And a backbreaker that follows up. The backbreaker certainly going to help towards Rusev's accolade as he looks for potential victory there. Angle comes flying in with a hefty forearm. And Lana going to get involved for the first time this match. And of course the Bulgarian Brute's going to take full advantage of it. Cobra clutch suplex there, but Angle landing right on the top there, right in his neck, his surgically repaired neck, right down on it. That is going to hurt, but it's certainly helping for the accolade, make no mistake about it. Lana slid in a chair in amongst all of that. Kurt Angle, though, just trying to out-wrestle Rusev for a moment. Rusev lines it up, and this time they go to the outside. Angle is just trying to find a moment to recover here, it seems. Fight continuing there, another backbreaker. That back of Kurt Angle's got to be screaming out in pain right now. Think of how much he's got left to do in this match. He's still got to do a lot of heavy lifting to put Rusev down and out, and Angle is certainly going to fight back regardless. Belly-to-belly suplex there. Lana's hope of that chair making a difference in this matchup did not pan out. The chair is gone, but Both men are still colliding with one another. Rusev over the super kick in the back of the head. Rusev feels it. Rusev was sensing a big victory there, but a great bit of work there by Kurt Angle. Got himself out of harm's way. And another big move will send Rusev down. Angle now up on that top rope. Angle gonna go for it, and he gets it. The moonsault by Kurt Angle. Lana choosing to get involved here. Trying to provide a distraction, trying to get... I think she might have been planning ahead of time there, because Angle certainly wasn't going for a pinfall. He is turning Rusev around for this very reason. Kurt Angle with the ankle lock stitched in deep on Rusev. Is Rusev going to be forced to tap out here? Angle hasn't done that much work on the legs. He did a little bit beforehand, but he's wrenching. He is tearing at the leg, and Rusev had no choice but to tap out. He was not going anywhere. He couldn't get anywhere near the ropes. He couldn't get anywhere closer to where he wanted to be. He couldn't fight out of it. Kurt Angle with another victory on his way to Money in the Bank. And you see Lana arguing with the referee on the outside there, but that was as definitive as you'd like. Rusev tapped out in clear view of the referee and everyone in attendance here tonight in Denver. There was no doubt about it. Kurt Angle was your winner. But he almost wasn't, in all fairness. If he hadn't moved out of the way of that boot, he could have been in for an accolade and maybe even a tap out from all the pain that had been done and all the damage that had been done to his back. Kurt Angle, though, is your winner here and keeps his momentum going on the way to Money in the Bank. He, of course, knows there are 4 other men in that match he's got to worry about, but there will be 5 in just a moment. It's our main event of the evening, and it is up next. Samoa Joe, Sami, Zayn, Roderick Strong, and Neville. One of those 4 men is going to Money in the Bank. Which one will it be? We'll find out up next. Let's see how this one goes. 1 spot is left, and that is that. 4 men fighting for the same spot. Only 1 is going to get their hands on it. Who will it be? Is the key question to ask. Sami Zayn heads towards the ring first. He was having a fairly strong time in the Battle Royal before he was eliminated by, I believe it was Samoa Joe. But he was going strong for him, and that's why he's been granted a second opportunity here tonight. And yeah, I mean, the winner of this, you know, they join, as we've already seen, Kurt Angle on ECW. When it comes to the other shows, when it comes to SmackDown Live, Chris Sabin. Actually, I'll just read out the whole Money in the Bank field. It'll make more sense than me mumbling my way through it. The winner of this will join Kurt Angle, Chris Sabin, Bobby Fish, Roman Reigns, and Triple H in that Money in the Bank ladder match that will, of course, be main eventing the Money in the Bank pay-per-view a week and a half from now. 9-10 days from now, whenever this video goes up. And all 4 of these men could do with that grand opportunity. Roderick Strong heads towards the ring, and he wants that chance as well. He wants that Money in the Bank briefcase, and of course, with everything that happened at Living Dangerously, everything changes. It now becomes about Chris Jericho. It now becomes about doing this for the 4 Horsemen. Roddy Strong was the runner-up in that Battle Royal, and he wants to make good on this second chance. He wants to go to Money in the Bank. You look at the field that is in that match. Like I said, those 5, only 1. Yep, I think I'm right in saying that. Only 1 has been a world champion. And that's Bobby Fish. Roman Reigns has not. Triple H has not. Kurt Angle has not. Chris Sabin has been NXT champion. But that's not a main roster title, so it's not a world title. Let's just put it as simple as that. This man has been a world champion, though, twice. Sami Zayn's been a world champion before. Roderick Strong and Neville have not. So that can truly shake up the field a little bit. That can make things that bit more interesting in that regard. Oh boy, how will this one fare? I'm really stuck on who to go with. I mean, you know, technically I shouldn't be showing favoritism because it is, you know, I mean, I'm happy with any of these 4 going to Money in the Bank, but it's about who I want to go to Money in the Bank. Who will fare best in a ladder match where you have to climb up that ladder, retrieve a briefcase, probably get thrown off that ladder, throw people into that ladder, use that ladder as a weapon, have that ladder used as a weapon against you. It's about how much can you know, how much damage can you take in that matchup, because there's 5 other men who want the same goal, but how much can you dish out? When you think about it in that factor, there's your favorite right there out of these 4 men. Samoa Joe has shown time and time again within this universe he can go toe-to-toe with the biggest of them all. He can take on the strongest man you can find, take on all of the punishment, and still be able to find a way to overcome it. Still be able to find a way to dish out his own means of offense. But when you think about it at the end as well, you've got to climb a ladder. You've got to be quick. You've got to find the slim window of opportunity and launch yourself at it. And I think that is where this man is the favorite. Neville is always one to jump in for an opportunity when he sees one presented before him. He's always one to act on a chance the moment it's there in front of him. A snap of a finger and he's there. Neville has been in plenty of ladder matches before. He's been in Money in the Bank ladder matches before. He headed, I think the last ladder match Neville was in, it was for the Cruiserweight Championship. Neville headed in as champion, Neville headed out as champion. Neville has never held Money in the Bank. As a matter of fact, I don't think any of these men have. No, none of these 4 men have been Mr. Money in the Bank. Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn, I believe. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% certain about Sami Zayn, but I know Samoa Joe has been in the Money in the Bank. Roderick Strong and Neville. Roderick Strong has not been in the Money in the Bank. I'm certain Neville's been in Money in the Bank. But we'll see how this one goes. Neville notices that Roderick Strong is making eye contact with him, and he's blasting it out of the ringers already. He's making a launch for it. Making a quick beeline to try and get away from Roddy Strong there, and obviously, when he sees a chance opening up in front of him, he's going to make the most of it. Falls count anywhere rules apply. 1 fall to a finish. So, you know, that could kind of cause some unlucky for some to happen, but it is as simple as, you know, 1 person's going to get pinned, 1 person's going to Money in the Bank. 2 will not be pinned, but Money in the Bank does not have their name on it at the end of it all. Neville right now has Roderick Strong way up on his shoulders there. Transitions, but took too long there. Roddy Strong slipping his way out of it. Samoa Joe right now with great strength being shown against Sami Zayn. Oh, running knee in the corner there by Roddy Strong and brings him in for that lariat. Oh, Roddy went for an elbow drop there and he sacrificed everything. He missed. He didn't get all of Neville, but he certainly got all of the referee. Sami Zayn now has started to fight back. And Neville sending him to the outside there. Roddy Strong in a precarious predicament. I wonder what Neville will do now. Neville's going to turn his attention towards Sami Zayn. That's what he's going to do now. Oh, he's going to turn it on Joe as well. Neville's certainly going after anyone who gets in his way, it seems. The former Cruiserweight champion picking all sorts of enemies in this one, but perhaps he has picked the worst one to try and cross. Roderick Strong, double underhook. Oh, backbreaker there. Nicely hit indeed. Samoa Joe responds with a headbutt to Neville. I wonder when either of these 4 men, any of these 4 men rather, will look for that big move to try and close things out. When will they look to go for something that will truly change the tides of this matchup? When do they think they're going to be on their way to Money in the Bank? Joe might have thought it there, but it was a very early kick out, and Sami Zayn will return his attention towards Samoa Joe. He puts Joe in the corner. Zayn! Oh! He ran up for a second there, and I was genuinely thinking Helluva kick, but no, and mistake was made by Neville. Don't think that he knew Roddy Strong was coming after him there. As a result, he got blasted Look at the strength of Roddy Strong right now as he is exerting revenge for Chris Jericho. The Four Horsemen were subjugated to watching what happened to Chris Jericho, knowing there was nothing they could do about it. And Roddy Strong must hate that. Roddy Strong wants revenge for that, as we can see. Zayn and Joe are just having a back and forth right now to try and become that final member of Money in the Bank. Snap suplex there by Neville. A standing corkscrew moonsault as well. Sami Zayn. Blue Thunder Bomb. Neville going up high here. Inverted 450 by the King of the Cruiserweights. And the leader of the British Empire, Neville there, hitting something pretty damn big. And all of a sudden the tides have turned in this one for Roderick Strong, it seems. Oh, just planting him face first there as Samoa Joe and Roddy Strong go, as Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn, sorry, go to the outside now. Oh no, oh no, no, no. In the ring, in the ring, in the ring. Neville with the Rings of Saturn applied. Sami Zayn with Koji clutch on the outside, but he caught eyes of it. Roddy Strong, though, is not trying to tap out here. Roddy stays in it. Sami Zayn with a cover on the outside. Looking to join. Money in the Bank. I think Neville just about broke that one up in time. Sami Zayn there with a tilt-a-whirl small package, but didn't go for the cover after it. Oh, sent into the ring there is Neville. Oh, and Joe now going after Neville here. Inside the ring. Roddy, meanwhile, on the outside. Beating down Sami Zayn. There's no other word for it. He's fighting back for that Rings of Saturn. Saito suplex goes for the cover. Will that be enough to send Roddy Strong to Money in the Bank? No, Zayn kicks out. What makes false count anywhere so dangerous? It's like you got to have eyes in the back of your head for what's going on. Neville, meanwhile, still in the corner. Oh, but he might have played possum there. Just to lower Roderick Strong in. He rolls up Roddy now. Is this going to end it? No, it's countered. Roddy into a cover of his own. Kick out. Meanwhile, the trifecta of suplexes by Samoa Joe. Didn't get to see all of them there because of what was going on in the ring. Roderick Strong, meanwhile, has been busted open here. And Roddy flips out of that attempted back suplex there on the floor, on the mat. That would have hurt big time. Gut buster there. 3 men are down. Roddy's the only one up on his feet right now. And now the men are starting to get back up to their feet here. All 4 are back up, but the fight has really broken down on the outside. Just wondering what this could lead to. Cover here by Roddy after planting Sami Zayn on the barricade there, but Neville and Joe still squaring off. As well, Neville looking to try and pick up Samoa Joe and almost just laughed it off there and sends Neville into the steps. As a result of it, Roddy Strong sent into the ring there, but the cover and the count, and Sami Zayn does his best to break it up there. And that may be... Oh, that is a nasty receipt to have as a result of it. Saito suplex there, both men down as a result of what Samoa Joe has done. This fight stays on the outside. With all 4 men so close to each other as well, how do they plan on picking up a fall is my question. When you're that close to one another. Look at the ring pole there, went Roddy Strong. You know that Neville did that with intentions of reminding Roddy Strong of living dangerously, but Strong's got to be focused on the task at hand, not at what happened on Sunday. I mean, sure, use it for a reason to beat the shit out of Neville, yeah, but don't use it as the reason for why you're just only fighting this matchup. So Joe now with Sami Zayn, oh! Just dumped him over his head. Roddy Strong now going back to Samoa Joe. Sami Zayn and Neville squaring off again. In the ring we go there. Neville might be looking to make the most of an opportunity in front of him. Realizes that no one else is in the ring, and he's going to give Sami Zayn a face planter as well. Roddy Strong there with his signature back suplex face buster. He thinks it's going to be enough to send him to Money in the Bank as well. Covers Joe here. Will it do it? No. Not really much of a surprise there, but that is how things happen. Oh no, on the outside. It's going to happen to Sami. It's going to happen to Roderick Strong this time. It was the German. It was the Dragon. And now the straight jacket, the trifecta of suplexes. Neville trying to get himself involved, and he just runs in there to that power slam. Scoop slam, whatever you want to call it. Sami Zayn, though, stopping the cover from happening. Like I said before, with all four of these men so close to each other, how do you expect a fall to manage? How do you expect... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Sami Zayn's knees going into concrete. Oh, that is not nice indeed. Uh-oh. Oh, Neville deciding that he didn't want that plan happening, it seems. And Neville goes from behind Joe there, goes to cover him, and Sami Zayn and Roderick Strong in as quick as you like to try and stop that from happening. What is Samoa Joe gonna... Oh my god, Samoa Joe is... No way! Oh, it was akin to a muscle buster there. He covers him here to put Roddy Strong down, and oh, Roddy kicked out there. Sami Zayn with a standing sunset flip there. If a victory wants to happen, they need to go back in the ring, because it's not going to happen in amongst all these bodies. Blue Thunder Bomb there. Oh, well, they don't need to return to the ring, but at least two of them do. Sami Zayn counters the German suplex there, attempt of Neville. Oh, but a step up Enziguri brings him back down. All men are down. Who does Neville want to use to try and win this one? He sets his sights on Sami Zayn, it seems. He throws him back into the ring, but Joe also wants back in the ring as well. He wants Sami Zayn. This could be where things start to get a bit complicated. Neville then will take care. Cover by Joe on Zayn. Zayn kicked at it too. What the hell are we going to see here as this one continues to devolve essentially into four men just engaging in brutal assault on one another in order to be victorious. Samoa Joe in the ring picks up. Uh-oh, that is not where I'd want to be if I was Sami Zayn. That is not what I'd want to be if I was Sami Zayn at all. Samoa Joe might be looking at it, and these two men on the outside are too busy fighting each other. Is Samoa Joe going to go for it? No. He is not. I thought for us. Oh, look at that strength of Roddy Strong there. Double underhook superplex by Joe, though. And he may think that's enough. He goes for the cover. Sami Zayn kicks at it too. Neville from behind launches himself down there. Three men are down, and he may have sacrificed himself because he's not getting up to his feet. Sami Zayn, sent Samoa Joe to the outside. I thought he might look to try and get him in the corner and go for that haluva kick. Counter there by Joe. Joe going to look for that shoulder breaker-esque maneuver he had earlier, but he just broken up there by Neville, who gets Saito suplexed onto the outside. All four of these men really with eyes in the back of their head to everything going on. Cover by Joe on Neville. Roderick Strong, though, breaks it up right away. I mean, just like, how do you try and close this one out, I guess? The falls count anywhere element has almost done more to hinder this match than it has to help it. Roddy Strong, back suplex, and of course transitions it into the face buster. Everyone is slow to get up to their feet. This could be Strong's moment. He covers Zayn. Roderick Strong has done it. Roddy Strong makes up to Chris Jericho, makes up for the Four Horsemen, and gets a receipt for it all. And that receipt has Money in the Bank on it. Roderick Strong will be the final member to go to Money in the Bank. He won essentially by chance. There's no other way of saying it. He got very, very lucky in that moment, but the opportunity absolutely worked. Roddy Strong is off to Money in the Bank. He joins Kurt Angle, Chris Sabin, Bobby Fish, Roman Reigns, and Triple H. The field is completed. Now we wait for Money in the Bank to show up. Oh boy, I am ready for that one. I am so ready now. Roderick Strong might not have got the revenge he wanted, but at least he cost Neville the chance of going to Money in the Bank. That at least can feel some levels of sweet for Roddy Strong and the Four Horsemen. That ends this episode, universe. Two big reveals in that way. Roddy Strong to Money in the Bank. Kyle O'Reilly and Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys. And ta-ra.